I remember I receiving my first check and I couldn't believe it. Like it was way more than I could ever make working in a factory. A client recently asked me why I charge a lower commission, and I told him the business side of it, obviously why I do it. But he wanted to dig deeper, like he wanted to know, like on a more personal level, like why I do it. And so we got to talk about a lot of personal stuff. So I'm thankful to him because it's nice to be talked to like as a human being versus just a commodity. So it was nice. We had a nice conversation, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to share that in this video why I do the lower commissions because it is, after all, honest real estate talk. So I'll talk honestly about commissions. Now, but before I do that, I just want to put it out there. I'm not saying anybody should do this. Why, like what the commission should be, if they're too high, too low, whatever. If whatever you're doing works for you, that's fine. It's none of my business. And so I hope I'm not going to get too many hate comments by agents who might get, offended by this. So on a personal level, why I do the real estate commission is, now this is nothing unique to me. I'm sure millions of people go through this. Growing up, we grew up pretty poor. And, my parents, like really, really well educated from back home. But as you all know, like when you come here, especially like when we came many, many years ago, it's hard to find jobs in your own field. So you do whatever you have to do. And they did whatever they had to do to provide for the family. And they came, for a better future for us because back there they were settled, they were happy. So when it was our turn to work, we did the same. We just did whatever jobs we could find, and factory work. That was it. That was our go-to ticket. Basically, factory work was back-breaking work, but you know what? It was what it was. So growing up, I did odd jobs like pizza delivery, mostly factory work. I remember back then the best job I ever had was security guard because honestly you just walked around, sat there, got to wear a shirt and tie. I was like, wow. So yeah, I was happy and I was like, wow, this is all the money in the world. And I remember I was making less than $2,000 a month back then, and I was happy. I was like, this is it, I made it. And then many, many years later, I stumbled on to the wonderful world of real estate through my dad. So once I got into real estate and kind of got the ball rolling, and I remember I receiving my first check, and I couldn't believe it. Like it was way more than I could ever make working in a factory or security, anything like that. It was just like I almost fainted. Like it was a good amount of money I never thought I could make. So once you do a few of these deals, like then you start to realize like, what am I getting paid for? Right? Because when you grow up working, like busting your butt, 8 hours a day, lifting crazy amount of work and like assembly line work, and that's like you can see, okay, this is what I'm getting paid for. Back then, the prices were not going up like the way they have been in the past few years, except for right now, they're coming way down. So it took a long time for a seller, like a homeowner, to be able to save like 30, 40,000 equity in their house. And then, we come in, the agent comes in, and then back then the market was pretty busy, nothing like what we're seeing right now, but it was still busy. So I found it hard to kind of like look the seller in the eye and be like, okay, I know it took you like this long to save this much equity, but now I'll take it because that's the fee and that's the commission. And sorry, it is what it is. In my head, I didn't like that. It didn't feel right. Now, I know some agents are going to be like, oh, if you can't justify your own commission, how are you going to justify the price? Whatever, say what you want. That's fine. I've heard it all before. And the hate I used to get back when I used to advertise my low commission, it was nasty, nasty stuff. So whatever, do what you got to do. And so when I lowered my commission, I felt like it was like, enough where I can still make a good living. I was very happy. It was still a lot more money than I could ever make working in a factory. But at the same time, the sellers also felt like they didn't get ripped off. They felt like, yeah, that seems fair. This is what he did, and now he's got to pay taxes and this and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, seems fair. I never had a client complain like, oh, the commission's too high. It just felt like a good trade-off. I could look the client in the eye and say, yeah, and it was fine. So that feeling to me was more important than obviously trying to make a little bit of extra cash. Now, I'm not against making money. Capitalism, yes, all that, yes, it's great, it's awesome. Make as much money as you want. But at the same time, I don't want to feel like I'm ripping people off. So that's why I do it, and it just kind of stuck. And now the prices have gone up, so the commissions have gone up, and that's fine. But I have a percentage I use, which I feel is fair, and my clients feel is fair, and we're both happy. So I'm not saying what the commission should be, or like there are no standard commissions. So first of all, I should say that, and it's always negotiable. So if you are an agent and you're happy making 5-6%, by all means do it. I hope you make millions of dollars, and that's fine. I'm not telling you what your commission should be. I'm just telling you what I feel like in my head. I have peace of mind that, okay, this seems right, and my clients are happy, and that's all that matters. And so that's the reason. That's why I charge a lower commission. Now, obviously, the business side is that's a separate story. It's just a lot of the stuff is online, so our work has gotten a lot easier. It's a lot cheaper to advertise online than it was back then. We used to have to advertise in like magazines and newspapers. So anyways, that's the short and long of it. I know it's a long-winded answer, but just thought I'd share it out there, and thanks to my client to kind of bringing that out of me, because commission is a very passionate topic of mine. So I just thought I'd share it. I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.